Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the WCW Worldwide Review Series for the 5th of January 1991. Running out of shows here, we'll just start a new series when we can. Maybe a delay in that, as I am contemplating and looking at a physical relocation in the next little while. So if I disappear, it's not because I've quit the channel or anything like that. It's simply because a relocation may be necessary. And I don't exactly know what that looks like, so it may be a couple of weeks before I can record. But for right now, we'll do what we can while we can, and ultimately we will bring things about in a positive direction. 1991 is an interesting year for WCW in a lot of ways. They are going through many growing pains. The Master Blasters are here, and obviously Kevin Nash is one of those individuals. I don't remember the name of his partner, but they're doing kind of face paint thing, kind of like a Road Warriors gimmick at the time. Both guys well over 6 foot. Nash close to 7 foot. I know that's his announce is over 7 foot, but anyway, hard shots and forearms by one of the Master Blasters. Master Blasters gimmick doesn't last very long, and their double teams. They were actually being set up for the Steiner brothers at the time. I don't know that I know the match happened at a Clash of the Champions, but I don't know a full feud ever took place because I don't think the Master Blasters gimmick stayed too terribly long. My introduction to WCW was 1992, so my history of them as an organization during the 88 to 91 is lacking, to be completely honest. So it's actually fun to watch some of these because it leads to education for me. Odd clothesline chokeslam combination that doesn't go exactly well by one of the members of that team, and the Master Blasters do end up getting a double team victory pretty assertively. Double shoulder tackles and the like, and away they go. Ultimately, we get some degree of Dutch Mantel in a rare enhancement match at the time. They're having him do primarily broadcasting at the time, and Mantel against Dave Johnson isn't going to be a match to write home about at the time. They were going to do the Desperados Southern gimmick with him in a more consistent way, but they didn't end up doing it, partially because they scrapped the gimmick. Body slams and basic stuff. The majority of Mantel's best work is both Puerto Rico and the Tennessee, Kentucky area, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, USWA, CWA, and the like. His WCW run, not exactly anything to write home about. Vertical suplexes and basic maneuvers here, actually winning after an elbow drop, which again, for this time in 1991, not exactly something that most fans are going to be, hooting and hollering over by any stretch of the imagination, especially when the WWF on the other channel has many other colorful talents and more vibrant talents. Sting talking about people trying to take him out of action is a promo up next. And continuing to want to get at Flair. Obviously, Sting, a former world champion, having won the championship in 1990. Damage coming from the Wrestle War area and the cage match. Flair, of course, winning the championship right around this time. Actually, I believe he might have won it on this particular occasion. They're showing highlights of Flair as the Black Scorpion in the Starrcade just a few short weeks ago. Sting obviously not happy with that, and the run-in by the Steiner brothers, among others, to help Sting because Flair and the Horsemen are trying to do as much damage as they can. Of course, Horsemen done by 1990, early point in 1991. Sting talking about wanting to get back on the horse and get rid of the Horsemen, both metaphorically and literally, and then kind of that's where that goes there. Tie up by both men here. VK Wall Street, a.k.a. Mike Rotundo, against the Z-Man here in 1991. Tries to roll up and roll through. Z-Man, of course, has been a tag team champion with Brian Pillman in the previous year. Also a television champion eventually, and other things. Alexander York doing the York Foundation, basically the strategy of a computer. Or actually, Tim Hughes is the opponent here. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought it was Michael Wall Street, and that's because I put Wall Street in the wrong category here. But an enhancement talent by match here by Zing. Zing, of course, being drummed out of the WWF by the force of leaving. Head scissors takeover and basic stuff by Zink. Zink doesn't want to waste any extra energy unless he absolutely has to. We see Zink managing to tie up pretty aggressively here and coming out of the corner. He does hang around for the next couple of years before ending up leaving WCW in late 93, early 94. He's a Minnesota guy who never really got as much of a play in the national scene as he should have, or many people thought he should have. He had the look and all other things, but Zink ends up getting a victory here over an enhancement talent. Not that's a huge surprise. Beautiful super kick style maneuver that Shawn Michaels, among others, would become known for, and then the top rope drop kick gives him the victory there. Almost a missile style drop kick, or kind of that falling zip line drop kick style maneuver gives him the victory. And then we go to more building. Worldwide Wrestling, of course, I guess you'd say secondary show here. And then we see Big Cat with the Motor City Madman versus Jamie McKinnon. Big Cat, of course, Curtis Hughes. He ends up turning later in the year. Lex Luger wanting to talk about the Big Cat, among other things. Luger, headed to feud with him, but eventually ends up by July using Big Cat, a.k.a. Curtis Hughes, as a bodyguard. And Hughes ends up with a big body slam here, backbreaker style as well. And Hughes using a lot of power. Rare to see him just in a pair of tights, and then he does some posing here. Hughes, not exactly a guy who ever really hit his full stride in wrestling. Of course, with the major two organizations several times, both WCW first, and then a couple times in the WWF over the years. Big body slam by Hughes. Also, Hughes has a cup of coffee in ECW early 93 into 1994. Most notably, I think, losing to Mikey Whipwreck. Eventually, yes, for those of the vest, we are going to do a ECW series, but trying to get through some other things here first. Anyway, Hughes kind of, trying to choke out and or dominate his man. Backbreaker, torture rack to mock Lex Luger is the way he gets the victory. And obviously that is, some people say, not a good idea. Other people say, beautiful idea. Ricky Morton and Bobby Eaton is the feature match of this one, although it's joined in progress. Obviously going to get a lot of back and forth out of that. Of course, the Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express feud had been going for several years at this point. Worth going out of your way to see this clipped match. We see both guys kind of wrestling around with the attempted hip toss and a backslide by Morton. Morton doesn't get all he wants on the backslide. And again, kind of sits to go, and a hard shot by Ricky Morton. Morton with a hard shot, and gets things going according to his fashion. Doesn't get all he wants on the maneuver, but gets enough to keep things going there. And then we see kind of a cutoff by Bobby Eaton. Eaton then goes for the vertical suplex, doesn't get all he wants as Morton manages a roll-up, three-quarter roll, and Eaton tries to pull the tights, get an advantage there, doesn't get all he wants on that. Drop toe hold by Morton gives him an advantage for a little while, doesn't get all he wants out of that. But a kickoff and an attempted roll-through doesn't get everything, but a drop kick by Morton keeps things going his way. Match goes to the outside. Cornette, I think, might even be gone at this point because I don't see him as part of the contest here. Of course, not familiar with WCW at this time. Cut off by Bobby Eaton. Eaton with a clothesline and catches Morton right under the chin with it. Eaton sent into the top turnbuckle. Doesn't get all he wants on the turnbuckle. Shot there. Crossbody, and Morton rolls right through and then goes for the victory roll style maneuver. The Freebirds run in and attack Ricky Morton. Hayes and Garvin attacking Morton, causing the ending of the match, and kind of a bit of a surprise, a little bit feigned surprise by, or they attack Eaton. I'm sorry, a little bit of a surprise by Morton there on the outside. Don't know the backstory there, and then we go to the final event of the day. Michael Wall Street, who is doing the Michael Wall Street kind of stockbroker sort of gimmick with Alexander York against Scott Sandlin. And they had done a clock in the corner, basically saying he's going to beat him in under 8 minutes. Obviously, that happens. Side headlocks and basic stuff. Sandlin uses the, or sent to the outside. Shots by good old Mr. VK Wall Street there, and he does get the victory with the flying clothesline, among other things. Brian Pillman talks about how he wants to get gold back, whether it's the U.S. title, the TV title, or whatever, in 1991. And Ric Flair promises to be at the top of WCW going forward throughout the year as your WCW/NWA champion. And we will close on that note. In any event, hopefully this is helpful to you, and we are here continuing to bring you the best in pro wrestling over the next little while. And until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.